A string in the bud is worth two in the bush. It's time for Ajazz Tech. Hello and welcome to Ajazz Tech. I'm your host, Alex Arnosky. Last week's show got canceled and I'll tell you why. When you own a cat, there comes a point in the relationship where you realize your cat owns you. You feed her, you clean her litter box, and you take her to the vet, and sometimes a cat's independence can get the best of her. Like, for instance, my cat decided to accidentally ingest some thread, and it got wrapped around her tongue. After long hours in the emergency room, eventually bringing her home from surgery, feeding her by hand, and spending extra time by her side, I'm pleased to announce that she's finally pooped out a hairball with the string attached to her behind. I snipped the string personally, and as advised, am waiting for the rest to pass. So if you own a feline, be careful this holiday season with strings, bows, and ribbon. Pick them up. And if grandma decides to come over and do some knitting, make sure she cleans up after herself. So, my schedule is all messed up. I was supposed to skip Friday's show this week, but due to these unfortunate circumstances, I ended up skipping last Friday's show. So, the plan for this week is to meet in the middle by giving you a longer show. You can listen to the entire episode, or pause it halfway through and pick up on Friday. It's your choice. Let's have a little fun with some tips, tricks, and Thanksgiving/Black Friday deals. Let's start off with a few tips, and as some of you know, the best place to find tips and tricks for your everyday life is not Lori Beth Dimberg with some vital information. It's from the fine folks over at Lifehacker. First up is a tip for making additional room in your kitchen. The tip from the Farm Chicks blog recommends adding a cutting board to the top of a kitchen drawer, and by simply cutting a hole in the middle or side, you have yourself a place to dispose of your scraps. I'd even go ahead and line the drawer with an open plastic bag for easy cleanup. Next up is a tip from Steve Gutenberg over at the Audiophiliac. He recommended a do-it-yourself tip for dampening sound in a room with a closed door. He says that you can create a better air seal by adding weather stripping to the edges of the door frame to limit the amount of sound that comes through. This method can save money in the long run and lower the decibels in the room significantly. They also mentioned adding a rubber pad under your subwoofer to limit the vibrations to your floor, if you do in fact live above neighbors. Here's another tip which I also personally recommend to all you mobile memory hogs. Put your stuff in the cloud. There are many different services that are willing to communicate with your devices, giving you additional storage space for virtually anything. I'll list just a few. There's Dropbox, which gives you 2 GB for free, Box.net with 5 GB, Windows Live SkyDrive 5 GB, SugarSync 5 GB, and SpiderOak 2 GB. All of these services offer some kind of syncing with your desktop, and with some of these services, if you invite some friends, they will reward you by giving you additional storage for free. Before I move on to a few tips for finding deals for this coming Thanksgiving/Black Friday weekend, I'll give you a quick tech news summary. Last week, Google announced their music service, which is only available in the US. It competes with the likes of iTunes and Amazon with a few differences. For one, all music is available via DRM-free MP3s at 320 kilobits per second. Given that most downloadable music is not lossless, we should be seeing this option from all music services. I personally prefer AAC to MP3, but in the meantime, I hope to see all music downloads have the option to be downloaded in ALAC or FLAC. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but I can only hope. Google's service also offers free cloud storage for up to 20,000 of your personal music collection, and any music you purchase will not count towards that amount. Amazon's Kindle Fire hit store shelves and has been setting a roaring blaze across tech news. The $199 price point is very tempting in such a young market, but that price doesn't mean it's crappy either. The Fire is in a class of its own with only 8 GB of internal storage and no micro SD slot. It's primarily meant for consuming digital media like books, videos, and music via Amazon's ecosystem, and that's who I would primarily recommend this device for. If you have a Prime account, you are in total business. However, I would actually like to recommend the Nook Tablet over the Kindle Fire. The Nook Tablet sports 16 GB of internal storage and a micro SD slot. It also gives you access to the Android marketplace containing thousands of apps compared to Amazon's App Store, which is still building steam. The fine folks over at Boxee announced an add-on for their Boxee box called Boxee Live TV. The USB/cable attachment is designed to deliver content from local HD stations like Fox, NBC, CBS, and ABC. This is another way Boxee is trying to get its customers to dig in and cut the cord. The peripheral is available for pre-order and will be officially released in January 2012. Let's move on to the main event for this week. the holiday weekend. Thanksgiving is a time, after all, for celebrating Black Friday and all its tech deals, right? Well, if you're a Black Friday fanatic like me, you are probably into reading the evening paper on Thanksgiving with all the Black Friday sale ads. Somehow, the Best Buy ad just isn't your favorite anymore on that day. But here's what you can do in the meantime. Go online. Charlie Brown would. Here's a small list of sites that you can visit for Black Friday deals just to get you started. There's bfads.net, theblackfriday.com, blackfriday.info, and blackfriday.us. Now, the obvious thing to do here is just Google Black Friday. Also, don't forget about Cyber Monday. Some sales sites, such as woot.com and One Sale a Day, that's the number one saleaday.com, will get you started, and make sure to scour the App Store for cheap deals. I use appshopper.com all the time for finding better deals. Finally, I'd like to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. Good luck and stay safe on Black Friday. Make sure to stay warm, and always, thanks for listening. You can find all of our podcasts at ajazz16.typepad.com. Follow me at twitter.com/ajazz16 and search for my name on Google+. You can email me at ajazzproductions@gmail.com.